everyone, and welcome back to a year in the TikTok of Splotchmaker. Yes, I know I just covered her last week, but it actually kind of feels like we're moving at a pretty good clip for her, and so I'm very much trying my hardest to at least start checking off some of these fat acceptance creators because despite doing this for months, I've only checked off like 2 or 3. We left off on this one. This is not a relevant TikTok. We'll cover this one briefly and then we'll just kind of continue on. Splotchmaker is someone that I have a harder time commenting on just because I'm not even sure. She just is someone that I have, not because I feel bad for her. It's just I don't even know how to respond to this sort of thing. But let's go ahead and continue.
Hi, ladies. How you doing? I want to kill you. Oh, yeah. Take a number, honey.
So this is a very common soundbite thing that I see on TikTok from fat acceptance creators, and I don't really understand it because, I mean, there have been a few death threats, but literally everyone gets death threats online. I'm not, like, it's not right, but it's not exclusive to fat creators. You know, it's, when I ran a gaming channel, I can't tell you how many death threats I got. It's just one of those things about the internet. It sucks, but it's just kind of a reality, you know? And I feel like this, logging onto TikTok as a fat person, and people just want, like, it's just this kind of thing where they perpetuate in their own mind their own victimhood. And in reality, it's just an unfortunate aspect of the internet that happens regardless of who you are. They may, like, use the fact that you're fat against you, but that's not the only reason that they'll send you death threats. People are just assholes online.
Another instance of fat phobia. I was trying on my bachelor's graduation gown. Doesn't zip. Doesn't zip. I'm a size 26. No refunds. No exchanges. It comes in one size. You just go by height. I even sized up a height. But anyway, yeah, no refunds, no exchanges, so I'm just out like $35, $40. And now I have to buy a third party. There is a cat hunting a bird outside of my window, and it is so cute. But anyway, this is really fucking annoying. It's basically just saying fat people don't belong in academia. We're not included in seat sizing. Fat people don't go to college. Fat people don't graduate. And again, I'm only a size 26. How many other people got this last minute and just didn't have a gown? People will minimize this, as they minimize everything to do with fat issues. But these things show we aren't thought of. We aren't considered. Another instance of fat phobia.
So I did cover this last year, closer to the time when it was originally made and posted. I'm just gonna kind of give a couple of brief thoughts because I've already kind of covered this. But I think that this is a major fucking leap in logic to make. I bought this cheap-ass graduation gown, like $30, don't get me wrong, it sucks that it doesn't fit and you're out the $30. I'm not going to deny that. It sucks. But you bought what in reality is a cheap-ass graduation gown. It's not like was marketed as being tailored to you or anything. It's a cheap-ass, mass-produced graduation gown that the university probably bought wholesale at a very cheap rate. And the fact that it only goes by height is even more an example of that. That's not saying that fat people don't belong in education. That's saying that your university is a cheap ass. Like, it's the nature of things. Especially for undergrad. Like, so, I went to the orientation at the same school for both my undergrad and when I was initially going for an MLIS degree. This isn't a one-to-one comparison, but I think it kind of gives an idea of how they split up, like, money. And the undergrad food was really cheap-ass cafeteria food. Like, it was the fettuccine Alfredo that you can probably get from like Safeway or like that's like prepackaged but just in a mass quantity. And there was like some really sad looking fruit salad, and just in general some general pasta dishes and like a tuna salad. Like, it was not like high quality food by any means. And it's not necessarily that the university was cheap. It was a state university, but it was considered the best university in the state. So we'll leave it like that. I went to that same school for an orientation for my when I was initially accepted into a Master's of Library and Information Science. That food was fucking catered. Like, that food was well put together. It was delicious. It was this chicken with sweet potatoes, roasted sweet potatoes, and then I don't remember the other things, but that I remember specifically because even though it was served cold, but it was still really fucking good. And it really surprised me in the difference between undergraduate and graduate level orientations and how they're treated. Undergraduate is I don't know if they make a whole lot of money. I would think that they would make money off undergraduates, but in general, undergraduates, they're just trying to kind of push you through. Because graduate school is seen as less taken and they're more eager for students, they'll try a little bit harder. But especially for state universities at undergraduate levels, you're not going to get high quality anything. Like, when I went in for the orientation for the graduate, I mean, I was getting like school swag and all sorts of shit. Like, for the orientation, they were like pushing hard. This is the school that you are in. We want you here. We want, like, it was all sorts of things. Undergraduate, they didn't really give a fuck. It was a matter of going through them. It was far more a matter of going through the motions. I didn't attend my university. I haven't attended a single graduation. Mostly because my timing was always off. There was a time when I had to skip a quarter, so I ended up graduating in summer, and I didn't want to graduate before I actually, like, finished my classes. And that's kind of been the story going forward for me. So I never attended a graduation ceremony. But I would think that it's similar in quality to the orientation that I attended, in that it's not terrible, but it's not going to be special in any way. Like, it's very much a machine because they have mostly undergraduate students and it's a matter of efficiency, not quality. So, to a certain extent, I do think that you could have asked what, especially since you know that you're a size 26, and I would hope that you would realize that that is an unusual size to be. I'm not guaranteeing it because you are insisting on victimhood. It really benefits, especially with clothes, especially when you're buying something, not being able to try it on or anything, to check and see what is, like, the width of the size. I'm sorry that it doesn't fit you, and I'm sorry that you have to buy third party, and it sucks that it's non-refundable. But this is not an indicator that that there's fat phobia in education. And I took a long way around to get to that point. But anyway, moving on.
30,000?
So the thing is that clothing prices have just gone up generally. And when looking at plus size clothing, especially in the same store, if we're looking at the same store where there's a plus size section versus an average size section, the price difference that I've seen has never been more than about $5. And if I'm completely off base on here, please post it in the comments. But I've never seen like a significant pay jump. Most of the time, most of what I've seen, like the plus size clothing, is $2 more. That's been the most average price increase that I've seen. Because I am a size 14 and sometimes I fit in the average size section and sometimes I have to go for like the smallest size in the plus size section. And so it's always this kind of in-between thing for me. So I don't notice that much of a difference in pricing. And this just kind of feels like a victim grab for me. But that's just Splotchmaker, I've noticed it. And this is one of the things too where it's like, you guys talk about issues in medicine and people harassing you on the street, which I think are valid, things to complain about, valid things to say this is an issue for us, completely valid. This saying that your size, which is much larger than the average, and you have to pay a few dollars more. If it's like a major price difference, then by all means show that. Like we've seen these people take their phones into the store and record. You guys are not shy about recording in public. Show me the same item in plus size and in the average size section. And show me the tags. Show me the difference and show me how much more you're paying, because this has been a fairly regular argument, and I think that spending $2 more for a 3X versus a medium isn't that, I think that seems like a reasonable price difference.
You can do whatever you want with your body, including intentional weight loss, but don't act like your actions exist in a vacuum, because all your actions have consequences, and when you post that sort of content, you're directly contributing to a toxic body hierarchy.
I am not responsible for the feelings of others. I am not if I choose to go on a weight loss journey, I am doing a good job and I post before and after pictures for myself online to demonstrate my progress. That is not necessarily meant to, because I don't think that most people that post before and after pictures, it's about celebrating their progress, not about saying, you can do this too, you can lose weight too. It's about, this is what I've been doing. It's no different than with an embroidery project showing like me finishing the first section versus now I'm halfway through. It's not any real different. It's showing that the work that I've put in and this is my progress and this is what I've been doing. And you saying that that's tied to a toxic body hierarchy and therefore perpetuates this negative image that will basically make other people just feel bad about themselves, that is not my responsibility. You guys say that you don't owe people health. I don't owe you the responsibility of hiding my progress. I don't owe you a space free of, musings of questioning your own decisions. I don't owe you that. I don't owe you a safe space on my page when I don't think that safe space is even really warranted. I don't owe you whatever you think is this oppressive thing against you. You say body autonomy and then you use the word but. By saying that like you're acknowledging it, but in reality you still want to control other people. That's what that's saying. And you're trying to control them through guilt. You're trying to control them through this pseudo-social justice rhetoric that is unreasonable. It pisses me off. It just pisses me off. Like, you can lose weight and it's valid, but it's still fat phobic. Or you can have body autonomy, but if you post stuff that I don't agree with, you're contributing to a toxic body culture, whatever the fuck she just said. Like, it's just, you guys play into the people can make their own decisions and the body autonomy and the validity of people choosing to lose weight and stuff, but then you also try to condemn them in the same sentence. And it feels manipulative, disingenuous, and honestly, more than anything, like you just want everyone to contribute to an echo chamber so that way you don't have to question your decisions that you've made in your life.
Whenever people say things like, if I was fat, I would kill myself, I feel like in their mind, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna make this fat girl feel bad about herself. But in reality, it makes me feel so strong. Like, I literally walk through your worst nightmare with a smile on my face.
This goes one of two ways for me. There are people that say, oh my god, if I was fat, I would kill myself, with the intent of being a catty bitch. But I would say that there's also people that are like, oh my god, if I was fat, I would kill myself, in a way that is far more focused on themselves. Like, it might be insensitive to say out loud in front of someone who's bigger, but I don't think that it's meant to necessarily hurt someone every time. Like, I think to assume malice in every context ignores that some people can become very obsessive about their weight and be rather extreme in their views about it, and it's more a signal of something that's going on with them mentally than anything about you. It goes both ways. And I think, I don't know, there's this habit in the FAs to assume everything that makes them feel even the slightest bit negative about their body to be a purposeful, malicious intent from another person. And with this particular example, it can go both ways. For ones that are like, oh my god, I feel fat, and they treat it like it's something specifically meant to shame the bigger person in the room, when that is not the case, I think, most of the time. It follows that line of thinking, and I think that, I don't know, it has this pick-me energy, it has this not like other girls energy to me about it or something. I don't know.
Okay. There is way too much hate on this app. But I want to talk about one hate specifically right now. Fat shaming. I want all the big kings and all the big queens to come together so we can stick up for people that can't handle it. You cause people to commit suicide. You come on this app and you try to ruin people's lives.
There's just something so dramatic about this that I find it really difficult to take seriously. I'm not going to say that fat shaming doesn't exist online, because it 100% does. It's like we got to stick up for people who can't handle it. If the people can't handle it, and I know this is a rather callous take, but it is something that I do firmly believe about the internet. You have to have a thick skin on the internet. You have to be able to handle shit that you wouldn't necessarily have to handle in real life, because it's the internet. There's the shield of anonymity for a lot of people, and you just gotta roll with it. You just gotta roll with it. I mean, I know I talk a lot about when I ran a gaming channel, but I was 18 when I started the gaming channel, and I got some harassment for being a girl Let's Player. This was in the days when I think Markiplier had just started. Like, it was that long ago. Like, it's just one of those things. And I'm not saying that it's right, but it's a reality that you're going to have to deal with. I'm not going to comment about you cause people to commit suicide. That goes into a realm that I don't really want to comment on. But this, I don't know. It's like, yeah, I understand people can be cruel. Yeah, I understand that it sucks. But it's the internet. If you can't handle it, you need to take it upon yourself, because you can't control other people. You have to take it upon yourself to care for yourself and step back from the internet every once in a while when it becomes too much for you.
Why do you want to hurt people? I can take it, but there's people that can't. There's people that cry every single night because of people like you.
And again, it's just the dramatics for me, him screaming at the camera, that it makes me have a harder time taking it seriously. I know that I don't know what that says about me, but it's the sad music, because I think the sad music was even in the original, and the yelling at the camera that just makes me go, like, dude, he's like, I can handle it. Like, it's that meme picture with the soldier protecting the child and, like, getting hit with like a bunch of arrows or bullets or something. It has that vibe to it, and it's just like, dude, it's the internet. It's not just fat people that get shamed on there. It's not just fat people that get death threats. It's not just fat people that get harassed. Like, for every demographic, there is someone to harass you. Like, the internet is an equal opportunity harasser. They will harass you for some bigoted shit, and then they'll also harass you because you ate pizza with pineapple on it. Like, there is no limit to the reasons why someone will harass you in the comments. There is no reason why someone will stalk you online. I don't remember if I told you, but there was this guy. I had a video where I had the hiccups, and this guy commented on the video a couple of times talking about how cute my hiccups were, and this was during Google Plus, and I could look at his feed, and he went to a bunch of other women that some were hiccuping in their videos and some weren't. He had a clear hiccup fetish, and was like, you'd be cute if you had hiccups. Yeah, like it was a constant commenting. Like, that's not necessarily harassment. That's not like outright attacking. I've had that too. That one was the one that probably disturbed me the most. It was the most foreign thing. But I've had people say, you know, can I rape you? I'm going to rape you. I'm gonna find where you live, bitch, and shit like that. And I was like 19, between the ages of 18 and 21, when I received the most of this sort of comment. And, like, is it okay? No. But to take the opinions of people you don't know and that are clearly just saying something to get a rise out of you this seriously, and if you take it so seriously to the point that you cry, and you're crying yourself every night, you need to detach from the internet, and you need to go more into a lurker mode. Like, that's just, if you can't handle the consequences of making content on the internet, which unfortunately can be steep, then perhaps you shouldn't make content on the internet. I really don't mean for this to sound callous and bitchy and cruel. I just come from this very specific standpoint of you can't control other people. You can only control yourself. So making this big dramatic video does absolutely fucking nothing. It does absolutely fucking nothing. And all it does is perpetuate this belief that we can change the internet when you can't really. Because someone will always be an asshole. You can put any sort of filter up you want. People will find ways around it.
I hope you can sleep good at night, knowing that you ruined somebody's life. I hope that made your day. Get better!
Let's see, this says, just two people staring at each other who believe diets don't work, calorie deficits aren't sustainable, and diet culture is inherently racist. And this just keeps going on, like, it's just them staring at the camera. So let's go through this. Diets don't work. I believe that diets don't work. Lifestyle changes work. Calorie deficits aren't sustainable. Calorie deficits are 100% sustainable if you are doing it at a low enough level. Like, there's this happy area where it is something that you can do consistently that will cause you to lose weight. Significant calorie deficits where you are constantly hungry and not being able to eat at all, or, well, not at all, but eat enough to make you feel satisfied is, and I mean satisfied in that you're not hungry. Not satisfied as in you are full, just not hungry. Then, yeah, it's unsustainable. But cutting 200 calories a day, you're just cutting a snack. There's ways around that. Cut out the juice or the calorie-filled lemonade that you drink. It's not hard to cut 200 calories a day out of your food if you're eating, like, an exceptional amount. And diet culture is inherently racist. I really hate this. And it just kind of reminds me of that fat phobia is rooted in racism bullshit. Disagree. Like, there's plenty of cultures that believe being thinner is better. And even then, it's not, like, scary thin. Like, most of the time, being thinner just means being at a healthier weight. So just because there's this, you know, preference against obesity doesn't mean that, and if we're going to say that it's racist, again, that just kind of, that goes into a realm of, are you saying that all non-white people are just destined to be obese? Like, that seems sketch. That seems bigoted. That seems... I don't know about that.
Croutons and dressing on your salad does not take away.
All of that exactly. Adding less nutrient-dense food to more nutrient-dense food does not take away from the total nutrients from that meal. But even more than that, enjoying your food plays an important role in digestion. You absorb more nutrients from food that you enjoy. And it's not just your physical...
Okay, citation needed on that one. What do you mean you derive more nutrients from food that you enjoy? Where did you learn that, ma'am? What the fuck? I'm pretty sure, Cynical Dude covered this and couldn't find a single fucking article on that. But, like, ma'am, what the fuck? And I'm sorry, but I am gonna be here and say that pudding, to a certain extent, I guess it kind of depends on how much. I don't think putting a little bit of dressing on your salad is that bad. If you are drowning your salad in dressing is significantly higher in calories and often sugar. In which case, yeah, you might be getting some nutrients from the salad, but then the amount of sugar that you're taking in and added fat and added calories kind of defeats the purpose of having the salad. Like, let's put it this way. If you can eat steamed vegetables with just a little bit, just a little bit of butter and salt, versus having the iceberg lettuce salad that is drowning in dressing, since iceberg doesn't even have that much, like, hardly any nutrients to it, which of those is going to be better? The steamed veggies. And let's even say that it is hearty, good lettuce. If you are drowning that lettuce and those veggies in dressing to the point where it has as much sugar and as many calories as a dessert, because there are some dressings out there that are just really sweet. So if you are drowning it in this dressing to the point where it has as much sugar and calories as a dessert, it's not that it takes away the total nutrients that you would have gotten anyway, but it does create an imbalance in the makeup of the meal that you're eating. Because you have to take into account the sugar and calorie content as well as what you're eating. Like, is it truly beneficial if you're having this massive spike in blood sugar afterward because of how much sugar is in the dressing? I would say not. I would say it would be better for you to take a vitamin and maybe eat less. And I understand that this is a controversial take. But I think that eating a nutrient-dense meal that you have to overload with sugar to make it palatable is, well, if it's a stepping stone. If it's a stepping stone, then I don't mind it as much. Like, you're trying, yes, you're drowning it in salad dressing, and you know how much sugar and how many calories you're taking in. Like, you measure the salad dressing, and even if it's a lot, if you're measuring it and then you're making efforts to reduce it by like a tablespoon here or a tablespoon there until you get to a reasonable level, like that I understand. That I actually really support. That's what I ended up doing with my coffee, because I started out taking, like, literally I would put so much sweetened creamer in my coffee that it was like 50 grams of sugar every morning. And I didn't even realize this until I actually measured out how much I put in. And I was shocked and appalled by it. And I slowly reduced how much. I just did away with the flavored coffee creamer. Got some heavy cream and just table sugar. Measured it out. And then slowly reduced it by a teaspoon every couple of weeks. And now I don't even put sugar in my coffee. I do still put 2 tablespoons of heavy cream, but I'll take the 100 calories for the coffee in the morning, and I'm not taking in sugar. There is something to be said to consider not only the nutrients, but the sugar that you're taking in and the calories that you're taking in. And if it's a stepping stone towards healthier eating, then great. But if you're like, I'm eating healthy because I'm eating this salad that I am drowning in dressing, that is not correct.
Well-being, but also your mental well-being. To put it simply, eating food you enjoy increases your quality of life. So don't let anyone shame you for how you get your nutrition.
So the concept of eating food that you enjoy is better for your mental health, to a degree, is correct, I think. I think if you're eating nothing but food you hate all day, every day, then one, that diet regimen is just not going to be sustainable. But two, it does feel a bit like you're depriving yourself. The thing that I found, though, and it's something that I discovered really recently, because I fucking love Mozart Kugels. And this past winter, there have been a couple of limited edition ones released by Reber, which is my favorite maker. It's a German maker of an Austrian, because Mozart Kugels are Austrian, but there's a German manufacturer of this one, and they have their own version of it. And I really love their version of it. And they have Constance Mozart Kugels, so based on Mozart's wife. And the limited edition ones are white chocolate raspberry. They are fucking delicious. It's 100 calories for one. It's fucking worth it. And I realized that when I invested in high quality candies like this, because there was a sale on them, I bought a bunch and have kept them kind of just in a space for me when I want something sweet, rather than going for cake and Hershey's chocolate and that sort of thing, like this really high quality dessert. And I found that I crave sugar less. I eat less sugar overall. I eat fewer calories overall when I'm eating a high quality candy. And it is about finding those high quality food items that you really enjoy and incorporating those when you can into your meal and into your diet, and trying to find healthy alternatives to the less satisfying options, because Hershey's chocolate, while it's good, you end up eating more of it over time because it is a highly processed chocolate. Where if you have a true high quality chocolate, you don't crave as much of it. So there's just something to be said with, yes, still enjoy the food that you like, but find healthier versions of it, and you'll actually find that you are more satisfied over time. I hope that made sense.
You can always be thinner, look better.
So the caption says, not the most famous makeup girly creating a new page to document her weight loss journey. I don't know who she's targeting with this. The little description thing says, all the other popular pages cheering her on when she legit has an ED. Just because she's going for weight loss does not mean that she has an ED. I fucking resent that, and I fucking hate that. Like, so what if she wants to go on a weight loss? What does that have to do with you? This is what I mean. You guys don't, like, she talked about body autonomy, and she's like, yeah, body autonomy is important. Clearly you don't care about body autonomy, because what you want to do is shame someone into behaving in a way that you think that they should behave. You're not saying names. You're not, like, I have no reason to believe that the person that is going on this weight loss journey is, like, already super thin. I believe that this person probably gained some, 5-10 vanity pounds that she wants to lose. Or perhaps she's starting off as overweight, which you guys often view as thin when it's not. And she wants to get down to a healthy weight. Or perhaps she's at the high end of a healthy weight and she wants to get down to the lower end of a healthy weight. Still reasonable. Like, there's automatically equating weight loss to an ED just pisses me off so fucking much.
The way you combat an eating disorder is not by increasing other eating disorder behaviors. It's not by restricting, cutting out entire groups of things, moralizing foods as good and bad. That's not self-love, that's not health.
It absolutely can be. There's good and bad foods are marked as good and bad because of the effect that they can have on the body. And honestly, when I have cut down on caffeine and sugar, I have been in a far better mental health space than I was when I was eating a shit ton of it. Past couple of years, I have had some anger issues in the past. For the most part, it's been fucking gone. Like, I still get irritated fairly easily, but I don't reach a height of anger that I did a long time ago. Since I've lost weight, a lot of my PMDD symptoms around, like, the week before my period have leveled off significantly. It's helped my mental health significantly. I am not nearly as tired since I've been more faithfully active and have been eating better. I don't get tired the same way. Like, energy levels level out. Anger has been reduced. My general depressive symptoms, my PMDD depressive symptoms have been reduced. It makes a difference. And this moralizing of food, I don't think it's necessarily a matter of moralizing. I think it's a heuristic to help us make better food decisions. And she says, yes, this is about Michaela. I have no idea who the fuck Michaela is. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes and just see if I can figure out who Michaela is. So it looks like the one that's coming up for a beauty influencer that's named Michaela is this woman. And I see why she wanted to go on a weight loss journey. She is by no means fat. I don't think that she is fat or anything like that, but I can see how she may not be as thin as she would want to be. I don't think her going on a weight loss journey is unreasonable. Is this her? Is this what she looked like when she went on her weight loss journey? I don't think she's obese. I can see that she's a bit overweight though, and I can understand why she would want to lose some weight. It's not unreasonable. It's not unreasonable. And to me, it just seems like you want to control people.
This is America. Don't got you slipping up. Look how I'm living up. Police be tripping up. Yeah, this is America. Guns in my area. I got the strap. Now they always say congratulations. This is America. Work so hard. Don't got you slipping up.
So, for those that aren't looking at the screen, this is Stitch, I think, or Duet, I think. I don't remember TikTok jargon. But of two girls from a foreign country it looks like they're from England, going to the US. And the captions from Splotchmaker say, oh, there's no fat people in Europe? Okay, Patrick Star. And then underneath it says, fat people, weird, teehee, let me record them multiple times without consent for the likes of the internet. And there were it was the clips that they were showing of people just in general. It was just them, like, noting where they were pretty much from what I could see. And the clips of the overweight and obese people were pretty quick. And it's not unreasonable for these, like, America is exceptionally fat. They are. Like, you will probably see more fat people in America than you will in most other places. So being surprised at seeing so many obese people in one place, I think is a reasonable reaction, especially if you come from a place that doesn't have that many fat people in one place. Especially if they went to some place because depending on where you are in the U.S., there's more fat people than in other places. So I didn't see anything particularly wrong with these girls' video. Her description says, you gotta be living under a rock to think fat people are so weird and only exist in the U.S. It's not that they think that fat people only exist in the U.S., but there's probably far fewer fat people in foreign countries than there are here. America is a country of convenience to the nth degree. It wouldn't surprise me, and, like, our food, our hyper-palatable food, it seems like every time we make something, it is just incredibly bad for you. I didn't think what those girls did was wrong. It just seems like Splotchmaker being overly sensitive again.
What makes somebody fatphobic at the gym? Let's talk about it. Are you going to the gym so you can get a flat stomach, or are you going to the gym so you can build a stable core and have better posture?
None of your fucking business. How about that? I get so tired of this. Why I intend to go to the gym is none of your fucking business. This is thought crime behavior. Alright? 1984 was a wonderful book. I so don't want my thoughts to be monitored constantly. No thank you. I love dystopian novels. 1984 is a classic. I think it's worth a read. But it's a dystopia. I don't want people reading my thoughts. I don't think I owe you an explanation of my intent for being in a place. And in a fairly public place at that. Like, whether I go to the gym, whether I go to the park, whether I attend a class that I have paid for is none of your fucking business. So, how about you stop fucking policing people's intent and people's thoughts? Especially when it doesn't affect you.
Are you motivated to go to the gym so that you can lose weight? Or are you focused on increasing muscle and bone density? Do you only consider a workout good when you feel sore or tired the next day? Or do you look to feel energized and awake after working out? Are you prioritizing leg day because you want your butt to look super delicious? Or is it because you know strong glutes help protect your knees and your back? Wanting to work out does not make anyone fatphobic, but the motivations why you might go to the gym do.
Fuck off. I'm sorry. Fuck off. Regardless of the intent, the results would be the same. So therefore, fuck off. Let's say I go to the gym because I do want a nice round ass, high, firm ass, and a flat stomach. And I'm doing everything that would result in those health benefits as well. The intent is inconsequential because the result is the same. I think I would feel differently about it if it was you doing something to someone else, but you are doing it for you. You are going to the gym for yourself, whether that is for aesthetic reasons or for health reasons is beside the point. It is healthy and good for your body regardless. So people can fuck off with policing your intentions about your own body.
It is fat liberation, not body positive. And I think that confuses a few people, but let me try to explain. I was positive about my body for years. I loved myself with no hesitation, but no amount of liking myself could stop my doctor from making me disabled because she ignored my symptoms and said that I was just fat and I just needed to lose weight to the point that I had nerve damage, had to have back surgery at 25, and will still never get the feeling back in my leg. Don't get me wrong, I want people to like themselves, but I need y'all to understand that that is not the most important thing. For me, the point isn't learning to be happy in a system that oppresses me. The point is to challenge a system that punishes you for what you look like and denies you care based on what they think you deserve.
Okay, so being frustrated with the medical care system I think is completely reasonable. Something I just want to note though, because I don't really have a whole lot to say about this video in particular, but something I do want to note is that if you've been paying attention to the dates, we zoomed through May, June, and July, and I think the first half of August. But now that we're getting into the second half of August, it seems like Splotchmaker was posting more fat liberation, body positivity content. And I can't help but wonder if this is because, like, the excitement of summer is over and she's in this lull period and she has nothing better to do. And this is just something that I've been trying to note some as we've gone through these creators is as there's typically a gap in their fat liberation content. And that gap can span a few weeks, it can span a few months, and we can kind of see it based on the different dates of the videos that I cover, because for the most part I don't cover ones that aren't related to the fat liberation context. And even those that I skip are typically just really short one-off videos that I don't really have anything to say about. But the general trend is that she's not posting as much during the summer, and I've noticed this with a couple of other fat liberation content creators. And another thing that I've noticed is that the ones that take breaks in the summer are those that are typically students. And I just can't help but wonder, is part of the reason why you're posting this because it's a way of channeling stress from studying and you need to feel like you're a victim or something? Did you get rejected? Are you rejected more often during the school year, maybe. Like, I don't mean for this to sound condescending or anything. It's a genuine question I have.
Hey y'all, I just got my updated Omicron booster shot, and I wanted to let you know that if you are fat, say above 200 pounds if you're female, above 260 pounds if you're male, then you need a longer needle. You need a 1.5 inch needle instead of the standard 1 inch. And I just went into my local Walgreens and I told them, hey, I need a longer needle size, 1.5 inches. And the vaccinator came and was like, oh my gosh, sorry it took so long. No one's ever asked for that. We had to figure out how to basically do it, or like what to do about it. And she was like, yeah, it makes sense. Like, you should have different sizes of needles for different people, but we've never thought about it. I feel really good coming out of that. I got my flu shot and my COVID, and
I don't know if I believe that. And several of you that work in like a pharmacy or in a doctor's office where they give the vaccinations or anything like that have noted that the needle sizes are kind of hard to tell just by sight if you're seeing it alone and like next to another one. And I'm sorry, I don't know why my nose is getting all stuffy for some stupid fucking reason. Some of you know that they wouldn't be able to tell the difference from the needle size, especially since they would just be seeing the needle on its own. And I think acting as though you are the enlightened one that knows more than the medical professionals, I don't believe that this conversation took place. And there's a lot of assumptions that go on in the FA communities, and I think that they get so caught up with the tidbits of information that they have that they think that they know more than anyone else, and that they are educating others, when in reality if they said anything, it would probably just be to appease you, because they already know.
so I found out about the shenanigans on Twitter when Fat Fab Feminists tweeted about it. Skinny people using this song specifically about growing up as a fat person to talk about their teeth and how they're too skinny, and it's such a great analogy for where mainstream body positivity is now compared to what it was intended for. It was created to liberate the most marginalized of bodies, black, brown, disabled, fat, super fat bodies, and now it's been watered down to being about self-love and body image. This song isn't for you. This song isn't for you. Yes, I'm gatekeeping. Yes, I'm gatekeeping this. This is specifically about growing up fat and being fat.
But the general sentiment can be generalized. That's what you don't seem to understand, is that just because it's about growing up fat, because the song, I believe, is titled like Ugly Fat Friend, and that's the whole chorus, is Life of the Ugly Fat Friend. And it's about that general sense can be generalized to any variety of insecurities. And this whole thing with the body positive, I still disagree that the body positivity movement was ever supposed to be about the most marginalized bodies. I think that it was always kind of meant as a self-love movement, and perhaps like an anti-beauty culture movement. I could see that too, saying like you're good enough as you are, and in that way it also plays into the weight aspect as well. Like, I get all that. But I don't think that it was meant as a liberation movement as so many of these people claim. You can try to gatekeep a song all you want. Anyone that is not chronically online like yourself is probably just enjoying the song and feeling the cathartic release of it, because it plays into that general feeling of being a middle or high schooler and feeling like the ugly one in your friend group, regardless of whatever reason it is. Fat is just the easiest conduit for that. It is the easiest conduit that can be generalized. And so you can try to gatekeep this song as much as you want. It doesn't make it yours. You didn't write it. And even the person who wrote it, if they're like, this is meant for fat people that grew up fat and it's not meant for the skinnies, doesn't change the fact that skinny people would still enjoy it. Once you release a piece out into the ether that is pop culture, it takes on a life of its own, and it becomes what the public wants it to be. And if you don't like that, then don't share what you create.
I just really wish thin people would stop commandeering these things and these movements, inserting yourself.
Oh my god, the victimhood. Thin people are commandeering what was made for fat people? No, they're enjoying a piece of media. They are buying oversized clothes because they're comfy. Just get over yourself. Get over yourself.
Taking up too much space.
5 style hacks I wish I knew sooner, fall edition. For larger chested ladies, oversized shirts are on trend but can make you look bigger than you need to. So rather than tying a knot in the front, unbutton a few buttons and gather it to the back, and then take a hair tie and tie it underneath itself, and you get this really chic feminine look. 5 style hacks I wish I knew.
So with that, style hack has a caption from Splotchmaker saying, "This is how casual fat phobia can be, y'all." Like, no, it isn't. For women who are bigger chested, and I understand this because I have issues with some shirts, and especially button-ups, where you have that gap, like at the widest part of your chest, you have that gap where the buttons look like they're holding on for dear life. Like, it doesn't, and then so you have to get something that is significantly bigger. It looks boxy. It doesn't look good. I don't know if I would do what she does, because I don't necessarily like showing my stomach. But that's, like, this isn't about not looking fat. It's about not wearing unflattering clothing. And you are so desperate for everything to be about you. So her captions say, "Y'all, Taylor removed the fat close-up scale shot on Apple Music, but not changed on YT. Not changed on YT yet, but..." And then the second caption says, "Was honestly not expecting this, but I'm glad she seems to be taking us seriously." No, you guys just whined loud enough that it was like, fine, I'll fucking cut it, whatever. It was, honestly, this just goes to show how self-centered your mindset is. She's not taking you seriously. It was a marketing ploy. It gets more money if she kowtows to your demands. Doesn't mean that she endorses what you said. It doesn't mean that she understands your plight. It means she's like, this is her or her manager or whatever is like, this is a threat to how much money I'm gonna make. So I'll cut it.
Fat people deserve so much more than what we're given. It is truly not fair how we're treated. Our harassment is celebrated, even prescribed. There will be a day without it, and I hope that day comes sooner than later.
The fucking victimhood complex. How? I can't. I don't even know what to say to this. You know, this fat people deserve so much more than what they're given. You don't know every fat person, and quite frankly, Splotchmaker, from what I've seen, you think you deserve a lot outside of general courtesy. Like, it feels like you deserve to be treated like the main character every second of your life. And that everyone should cater to you down to how they think. You are so self-centered, I almost want to say it broaches narcissism, but I don't know, like, the general criteria for narcissistic personality disorder, so we're going to say, like, and I don't necessarily think she has narcissistic personality disorder, because I don't remember the, like, DSM criteria for that. And I'm not a licensed professional in terms of diagnosis, and you can't diagnose someone over the internet. In the colloquial sense, though, of narcissism being a combination of entitlement and self-importance, I think it fits her to a T.
I've heard time and time again that there's a very simple solution to getting harassed when you're fat. Just lose weight. That is not simpler than you shutting your mouth and minding your business. I've heard time and time.
So I agree. I agree that losing weight as a way to stop the harassment is kind of a stupid take. And the reason why I think that is because the people that harass them will just find another reason to harass them. That being said, I think expecting the harassment to stop is just, like, on its own, like, people should just be better and not harass me. I mean, I understand and I agree, but at the same time, that's a lot to expect on the internet. For me, it's like, develop a tougher skin or stop being online so much. So, there's a couple of things. So, the original the original TikTok that's being stitched says, I hate this so much. I have fat thighs, with a response being, but why? Boys like thick thighs. And then her ending with, you don't get it. You just don't get it. And then Splotchmaker has a caption that says, she keeps making these fat-phobic videos. Please complain about something else besides looking even 0.000001 like a fat person. This isn't... I don't see how this is fat-phobic. She doesn't like that she has bigger thighs. Like, I've always had what my family refers to as carrot legs, where I have really big thighs and really small ankles. So it looks like a carrot. And I've had it for all my life, and I've just kind of learned to go with it. Especially since I've been running and stuff. My legs are still carrot legs, but they're more toned carrot legs, and they look nicer now. But I understand the hating how thick your thighs can be. Like, I get that. Especially because pants are harder to fit. Because even if they fit around even if you can get them on, they can be tight in the thighs. Like, it's one of those things. Like, this isn't her being fat-phobic. This isn't her lamenting looking like a fat person. It's a matter, like, as someone who struggled with having, like, not liking their thick thighs for a while, it's not that I love my thighs now, but I just have reached a point of not giving a fuck. But when I was younger, it was not about my being fat. It was that I don't like the body fat distribution on my body. Not liking the body fat distribution is different from not liking being fat. I've really come to be okay with my thighs as they are. I hate my back fat, because that's a primary storage space for my body fat, and I hate it. I hate my back fat. Does that mean I hate my weight? Not necessarily. I don't hate my weight. I do want to be thinner, but I don't hate my weight. Dislike most, though, what I dislike most is the way my body will distribute fat. It's different. I hope I explained myself okay. But it's different, and I think this just kind of comes back around to you turning everything on yourself, and how everything ends up being about you. This thing about this girl talking about her insecurity, you have wrapped around to be about fat phobia, so that way you can direct it back to yourself and how you're a victim. And it's bullshit. And it's pathetic.
It's always very suspicious when people make comments like this, because I was a minor in all of that. And then people are like, oh my god, you look so much better back then. When I was a minor, it's always very suspicious when people make comments.
There's something about the way this is phrased that just seems very, like, accusatory. As in, like, because someone said you looked better when you were younger because you were thinner, and you're turning it around to be like, oh, you mean when I was a minor? You mean when I was a minor? As if kind of accusing them of... I won't say it because I don't want to get this video flagged, but you guys know what I mean. And it just, it feels weird to, like, hone in on, you mean when I was a minor? Like, I was a minor? I was a minor. I was a minor. A minor. And it's like, so what? People can still say that you look better when you were thinner, even if you were a minor. Even if you were, like, 16, 17. You're only, like, 21, 22-ish in this series of TikToks. Meaning that it's a span of 5-ish years. So to say that, yeah, you looked better when you were younger because you were thinner, it's not unreasonable. Just because you were a minor by, like, a year doesn't mean that you wouldn't still look better, thinner, now. it's this whole weird thing, like she's trying to insinuate something nefarious in that comment for me that it's weird.
Ooh, she mine, ooh, girl, bump and grind. Ooh, she mine, ooh, girl, bump a line. Angelina, lips like Angelina. Ooh, she mine, ooh, girl, bump.
Okay, so the captions say, seeing all the weight loss content on Instagram, and then, like, the switch is starting my own fat positive page so that we have another safe space. Like, good for you. I don't really understand why, like, this is just you having a different community. Like, there's people that get inspired by other people's weight loss to make healthier lifestyle changes. If you don't want to do that, fine, what the fuck ever. But in the description, it's like fativism. Honey, you're just making a community page. That's all you're doing, is you're making a community page. And, like, good for you if that makes you happy. But this is just a matter of a difference of opinion. It's a matter of how you, for whatever reason, don't want... Well, I mean, we know what reason, but you don't want to see before and after photos or whatever, so you're creating a place where you don't have to look at it. So you're, to a certain extent, creating your own echo chamber, but we'll put that aside. It's just a matter of difference of values or whatever you want to call it. That doesn't make people that did weight loss on Instagram bad.
Fat people can't just self-love their way into body liberation like thin people can. I can love my body as much as I want. That doesn't stop the fact that people label it a disease. They're doing everything they can to eradicate us. Fat people...
My God, the fucking victim complex. I just can't. No one is looking... Well, I won't say no one, because I'm sure there are some people, but they're in a far minority. The vast majority of people are not looking to eradicate fat people. They don't care. The vast majority of people don't give a fuck. They're concerned with their own fucking lives. Like, and just because that person wants to lose weight doesn't mean that they want to eradicate all fat people. Let's just be clear on that. I'm trying to lose weight doesn't mean I'm trying to eradicate all fat people. I don't really give a fuck what you do in terms of eating. Like, I do have serious problems when you say that you can't control your weight, and then we see the way you eat, and it's like you eat like shit, and then you're pushing this narrative that no matter what, you can't lose weight. That pisses me off for a variety of reasons, but no one's trying to, the vast majority of people are not trying to eradicate you.
If you are someone who is really, really bothered by hate comments still, especially if you're a fat creator, I want to give you some insight advice from someone who gets it a lot. You have to think of it from a perspective of they are showing their own biases, and it has much more to do with them than it does to do with you. And they'll want to twist it around and say, oh no, you're just saying that to make yourself feel better, but genuinely, it is miserable and very pitiful behavior to be commenting harassing stuff on people's social media, mocking their appearance on social media. That is such lonely, sad behavior. So move, at least try to move, to seeing it as it really is.
I actually don't disagree with this advice. If people are mocking your appearance, posting harassing stuff, this is kind of like ignore the trolls. This is that whole mindset of, yes, it's that person's problem, not you, so ignore it. Like, I don't actually have a problem with this advice. I think our opinions on what is harassing comments will probably be different, but that's beside the point. If you view every comment that disagrees with you as, like, a form of harassment, then, I mean, it is what it is. But ultimately, like, if you struggle with seeing the negative comments, it really is a matter of don't feed what you don't want in your space.
You know what I think would be just dandy for fat people's health? If fat phobes didn't make it their life's mission to harass us at every turn. I think that would just be so good for fat people's health. Since you're so concerned about us, it'd be great if you stopped harassing us. That would really actually be so healthy. And I think it'd be healthy for you too. It can't be healthy to just hate on people all the time for their size. I don't know. Might just be me.
So it kind of depends on what you define as harassing. If you think that harassing is someone pointing out contradictions in your own argument, then that's not harassment. And if they're pointing out contradictions in your own statement, saying that it's unhealthy and going the health route of the argument, that is not harassment. That is them contradicting it's a discussion point. And if you don't want to see it as a discussion, that's your problem. But it's a discussion point, and you are putting out your own ideas on this platform a lot, and people are going to disagree with that. And if you may find it very personal, and that's a you issue, because a lot of people don't necessarily find it personal to talk about this sort of thing. If they are just spewing hate your way, then putting this out isn't going to stop them, because what they enjoy is the rise that they get out of you. So regardless of which camp you're accusing here, maybe you're accusing both, your way of going about it doesn't fix anything. And it looks like we're already into January. This was from January 4th. So I might just try to finish Splotchmaker up in this video, since we don't have that much left to go.
Something I hate is when a fat person will say, this is fatphobic, or this is bad. And then everyone's like, no, fatty, you're wrong. And then a fucking thin person will say, that's bad. That's actually fatphobic. And then everyone is like, oh my god, finally someone's saying it. Oh my god, that's so true.
Question, where does this happen? Because I've seen fat acceptance creators who are both fat and thin, and most people in the anti-FA community, at least here on YouTube, argues them both. Like, this feels like a bias on your part, because you view fat people as inherently victims, and so you will focus on the negative comments in the, so it's basically like confirmation bias. You view people as victims, fat people as victims, and so when you look in their comments, you will focus primarily on the negative comments that they get, where thin people posting the same comment, you will focus primarily on the positive comments that they get. Where is this happening? Is my question.
No. If you harass fat people, you don't give a fuck about our health. Mental health is health. And y'all will try to make this world as fucking miserable as you can for us. So when you harass us, when you troll us, when you concern troll us, you don't care about our health. You just want to bully us. Because you don't like seeing us. You don't like it. And you want to feel bigger than someone. You don't give a fuck about our health. So stop pretending like you do.
So the thing is, though, is that sometimes people are just commenting about health in the way to contradict a claim about health that you made, which is not necessarily being concerned for your health, but more a combat of misinformation, number one. Number two, yes, mental health is health, but focusing on mental health at the expense of physical health does not help your mental health, because mental health can very much be tied to physical health. If you do things, don't get me wrong, there's cases in which like medical intervention is 100% needed, but in terms of general maintenance, in terms of general health maintenance, taking care of your physical self can help your mental self. I feel like shit if I don't brush my hair all day. I feel like shit if I don't take a shower every day. I feel like shit, and not everyone is for taking a shower every day. I'm talking about myself specifically. I feel like shit when I eat like shit. So there is that argument to be had. As far as me, I'll be honest, I don't care much about your health. I am very much the type of person that's like, if you want to self-destruct and destroy your body, that is your right to do so. What I primarily want to do is prevent you from saying that this self-destruction is a good thing. Because there are impressionable children, teenagers, and even young adults that are still finding themselves, that are still trying to figure out how to navigate this world. And your promotion of self-destruction will give them an unhealthy outlet for their stress. And that's part of the reason why I make these videos. I'm not going to say that these videos are like entirely for altruistic purposes. I do this for my own motivation because it helps keep me on track on my weight loss journey. I won't lie, I like the attention that I get from this channel. I like the comments that I see. I like watching the numbers go up on my YouTube channel. Primarily, it's those things why I make these videos. So you're right, I don't give a shit about your health, but I really fucking care about what you say and what you promote to young people. I do.
You know what it never was? That serious. It was never that serious. You know what it never was?
So the caption says, when a family member ate 1 square of chocolate and then had a panic attack in public because it was too many Weight Watchers points. Don't believe this. They either had like a full chocolate bar and they made a mistake, and then there was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? Because if first couple times you do that, you're like, oh fuck, god damn it, now everything's ruined, now everything, oh my god. Like, it takes a little bit of time to be like, okay, I fucked up, how can I fix this? Or how can I just, like, you learn to just get back on track immediately rather than letting that completely derail you. But I don't believe that they had necessarily a panic attack. I think that they had that moment of, oh shit, and you took that as a panic attack, because what you ultimately want to do here is demonize weight loss attempts.
Okay, you know how some people eat and eat and eat and they just can't gain weight? Why is it so hard to believe that the opposite is also true? Okay.
Here's the thing, though. I don't necessarily believe either of those things. I think that there are people that struggle to gain weight, but the reason why they struggle to gain weight is a lack of appetite, not that they just eat so much and can't gain weight. I have a family member that is thin and struggles to gain weight because they have a couple of different health conditions that make them less hungry. And they think that they're eating plenty, but the truth is that they'll have like one significant meal and then like just a couple of small things throughout the day. And that's part of the reason why they're thin. They're thinner than they need to be. It's same with being fat, just in the opposite way. Either your hunger is triggered more easily, and that can be, because I was the type of person that was always fucking hungry. And something that really helped with that was actually cutting back on the sugar. The sugar triggers hunger, at least in me. And by eating better meals, you get hungry less, which means you eat less. For thinner people, I think it's just a matter of, like, people that struggle to gain weight, they just don't get hungry the same way. Or food isn't, like, it's easier for them to ignore any hunger. There's also those people that are just so easily distracted from physical needs that it doesn't register for a while. And that can also be an issue. But it's not just metabolism. This isn't purely a metabolism issue. This is a behavior sort of issue on both sides. And there's ways to fix it, and there's ways to rectify it, and it's tricky regardless of which end of the spectrum that you're on.
If you don't like fat people, you don't have to tell us. You don't. You can just go on your little merry way. You don't have to preach to us about it.
I agree with this, especially like on the street. If you see someone who's majorly fat, you really don't have to comment on it. I guarantee that those people know that they're fat and they don't need you to point it out in public. That being said, on the internet, it's a little bit of a different issue. Not people literally just existing, but people like Splotchmaker who continually make videos that make these outlandish claims like fat phobia in academia because seats aren't big enough and the wholesale, bottom of the barrel college gowns, the graduation gowns or graduation robes or whatever, don't fit a size 26 is somehow this message to all fat people that you don't belong in academia. Like, that is some conspiracy. I know I've said this before, but it does feel like conspiracy theorist level thinking. And that is the issue that I have, and that is why I make the videos on you. And if you don't like it, then maybe stop putting out ridiculous claims. Because it's not about you being fat, it's about your ridiculous fucking claims.
I just saw the video that everyone on body positive TikTok is talking about, and I want to make a very quick point that anyone who talks about fatness being trendy or a trend or cool, don't listen to them. They are not credible. Anyone who says that is honestly delusional, because look at how fat-phobic and diet-centric and just demonized fat people and fatness is in society. Who is saying it's a trend? Who is saying it's trendy? It's demonized everywhere. What's to look forward to? What's cool about it? What's trendy? Getting harassed on every single platform? Every single day? Getting videos taken down, removed from monetization, getting deplatformed entirely because we posted a video that then people can post anytime they want, all the time? You know, getting medical neglect, being just outcasted in society and have your body be an epidemic? It is bullshit. So just don't listen to anyone who says that.
So, see, this is the issue, is that you don't understand that I don't know if I would go so far as to say fatness has become a trend, but it has become more accepted, whether she wants to admit that or not. Because the more, like, commercials and just, like, even in TV and general stuff, people look bigger than they did 15 years ago. And there is just a general level of more acceptance of people who are bigger. Probably not to the extent that the fat acceptance community wants it, but that is a trend that we're seeing. We're seeing more fatter people in media. It's not completely pervasive, but I understand how people could see that as a trend. This, though, just seems like she is kind of like, no, we're not getting what we want. Never. I never get what I want. I am oppressed. Like, it seems like she can't even acknowledge the little bit that we're seeing of fat people making their way more into mainstream media. And let's be honest, because you could talk about diet culture. We also can we talk about indulgence culture? Because we see that a lot with food, too.
And you don't seem to
Just a caption that says, when they ask to go thrifting, but you're the fat type of human. There's plenty of thrifting that you can do that isn't clothes, number one. And two, way to put yourself in the victim spot again. I mean, really, everything comes back around to them being a victim. And it drives me up the fucking wall. I am touching on this one because I think it just speaks to who they are as a person. When you're the scapegoat of the family and you walk into a family gathering, once again, right after the last one, putting themselves in the victim role. They are always a victim.
If you're fat, this video is for you. So, I'm a first-generation college student, poor all my life, never saw myself as getting an advanced degree. And now I'm in grad school. A difficult one to get into at that. And I just want to remind you that if you think you're too ugly, you're too fat, like you're too insecure, you feel like you'll stick out, that's why you don't want to pursue academics. I get it. Like, classrooms aren't even built for us. Like,
okay, wait, I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time seeing the leap here, because you start off with, I'm a first-generation college student, I've been poor all my life, I never saw myself as being able to get an advanced degree. For me, I'm also a first-generation college student, poor to working class all my life. I don't get the jump to the fatness thing. That there, it feels like there's a connecting thread here that's missing.
literally, they don't even have, like, seats that fit us half the time. Like, they don't fucking cater.
Well, that's why there's accommodation services. You can actually, in every university, there is an accessibility desk where you can be like, I need to request seating for XYZ reason. Like, you can do that.
But their solutions can go to your Disability Resource Center. They're required to give you accessible seating. But anyway, don't let that stop you. We need all the diversity as possible. We need more fat voices in academia.
Okay, sorry, but just because you don't see as many fat students doesn't mean that there aren't plenty of, like, fat most of the teachers that I had were overweight. And that's not to say anything bad about the teachers. Like, it's just something that happens when you're having to focus on teaching and your research, is that sometimes your workout routine goes by the wayside. But let's not pretend that everyone in academia is thin. All right? It just... it's the victimhood again. I can't.
If you think fat people talk about weight a lot, then you haven't been around or lived with people who are fatphobic. Their entire lives revolve around their weight and making sure...
This sounds like something that you just think of when you think of thin people. Because most people that I know don't obsess about being thin.
They're thin and don't look like us. It's fucking weird.
Fucking who are you talking about? Seriously, who the fuck are you talking about? Because even when, like, I'm trying to lose weight, I don't obsess about being thin. I don't obsess about losing weight. I try to make healthier lifestyle choices that will facilitate weight loss, but it's a very gradual process, and it's not something I agonize over. But it feels like this is, like, the perfect thing to leave off on. This is the last TikTok. This video ended up being a little bit longer than I anticipated, but we were so close to the end, I just wanted to finish her off. We are done with Splotchmaker at this point. I'm done with Splotchmaker. I don't plan on covering her again. I find her very frustrating, and I find her constant bids for victimhood to be exhausting. And, because, I mean, she tries not... the constant bids for victimhood aren't only around her weight. It is around stuff with her family. It's around everything that she can be victimized for, she tries to be victimized for. So... I can't take any more Splotchmaker, and good news is, I don't have to. We're done with her. What did you think of Splotchmaker? I would like to know your final takes in the comments. My final take is that she is a victim that tries to get on her moral high horse constantly. And I think she genuinely thinks that she is a better person than most people. Through that, she has developed this sense of superiority over others, and tries to enforce her will on others through the internet. And I think ultimately, at some point, life is going to hit her hard in the ass, and she's going to realize how fucking cringy she's been this entire time. At least I hope she develops that self-awareness. For me, I'm done. Quick things to note. My weight has stayed the same. I have, by the time this goes up, my last week before midwinter break will probably be over. And the following week I have off. I'll still have to do fucking homework, which is really annoying because my current classes have this habit of releasing all of the assignments that are going to be due for that week the Sunday before the week that they're due. Meaning that Sunday comes, they will be due by that following Saturday. So that, like, I get exactly a week to work on them. And this past week, I had 7 assignments that opened up. 7 assignments that opened up that I had to finish in a week, and it pissed me off so fucking much. And some of them were pretty light, 2 were really involved, and that was only for one class. The other class, I had 3 more assignments. I had 10 fucking assignments that opened and were due this week, and it pissed me off so fucking much. In other news, I have been working on the 1,000 Cranes project, and I have threaded 2 strands worth of cranes, and they turned out really pretty, and I'm really happy with them. And I think that's about it, except for anyone who was interested in the Café Enchanté game. If you voted for that, I do. Actually, before we get there, I did not. Anyone who follows my Twitter knows that I did not post my 600-pound life live tweet on Sunday, 2 Sundays ago, because I, quite frankly, just didn't feel up to it. So right after, I'm like, it's gonna be on Sundays from now on, and I fucking failed. So it's just, I'm still working on consistency with that. And it kind of just is what it is. I'm sorry. Finally, for the Cafe Enchanté game, this is the last bit. You can leave now if you have no fucking interest. But, oh my god, all of the love interests are fucking adorable as fuck. Oh my god, I love this game so much. So you're playing a person who's taking over this cafe that her grandfather loved. And turns out there's a door to other worlds in there. And as soon as you, like, unlock it, 4 people come through. We have the Headless Knight from the fairy world. We have the Fallen Angel. We have the Demonic Beast. And then we have the Demon Lord. And I love all of them. And they are precious. And I adore them. And the Demonic Beast is the youngest of the 4, being only 25. Where everyone else is hundreds to thousands of years old. And they are all very cute in their own ways. The Fallen Angel is an Otome fanatic, which I also fucking love. And there's just so much to say. I'm actually recording my thoughts as I play it for like a separate channel because I'm enjoying it so fucking much. The 5th love interest, which is a human, he's 42 years old and he was friends with your grandfather, and he is part of a government agency that's keeping an eye on your cafe, essentially. I did not like him. He is not one that I particularly like. There's something sketchy about him, and I don't like him. But overall, so far, it's super fucking fun, and I'm so excited to play more of it. I've only been through the prologue in Chapter 1, and I recently started Chapter 2, where the Headless Knight from the fairy world is going to escort us to the grocery store and help carry our groceries. And I'm so happy for it. I'm so excited for it, because it's so much fun. So you'll hear like brief thoughts about the game here. I am going to record more detailed thoughts and make a video for them for a separate channel. So when I actually create that channel and upload those videos, I'll let you guys know. But that's it. This video went on a bit longer than I wanted, but we're done with Splotchmaker now. And yeah, that's it. So thank you for watching. Remember to take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.